Welcome to the Brain Fix podcast, where we discuss all things neuroscience.
And this week we have a very special episode where we'll be talking all things master's degrees. So how you can get a master's degree in neuroscience, what kind of master's degrees you can get in neuroscience. And specifically, you'll be hearing from us, and we're both master's students. Surprise, surprise. My name's Oliver, and I'm doing an integrated master's degree in neuroscience. That's an MSci.
My name's Allanah. Some people also call me Lani. I'm also doing a master's, but I'm doing a postgraduate taught master's in neuroscience here at the University of Manchester.
Yeah, and we both currently do our research projects in the Milosavljevic lab with Dr. Nina Milosavljevic. So shout out to Nina.
Shout out to Nina.
Whoopsie daisy, sorry, I'm smacking the mic. This is never done a podcast before, Allanah. So this is like really exciting for me. So why don't you tell our lovely listeners why you picked to do your master's degree at Manchester?
Well, so I'll start off with, for those that don't know, I studied my undergraduate degree here in Manchester. Mm-hmm. So I did cognitive neuroscience and psychology, which is a bit of a fancy term for just studying neuroscience and psychology as a joint honours degree. And then I graduated last summer, and then now I'm doing my master's. So I've got two different answers for like why I chose to stay at Manchester and why neuroscience. So for my undergraduate degree, like, as much as I could sit here and say like, oh, I researched this and I, discovered this and I, read up on this and decided to come here. If I'm being very honest, I'm from London and I wanted to leave home for university, experience something different.
Sure.
I do love the city life, so I was like, oh, maybe I could go somewhere, another big city. And the next biggest city in the UK was Manchester. I did apply to loads of universities, but I think my heart was set on Manchester, and they had a really good course for neuroscience and psychology. And in terms of like picking that degree, I've like always been fascinated by the brain. I mean, we've got around like 86 billion neurons. And I think the fact that I'm sat here speaking to you right now, I'm processing everything you're saying. If I want, I can like lift my arm, like all of these things that are controlled by the brain. I think it's an organ that's like remarkable and it's fascinating.
Yeah, sure.
So is cognition, memory, psychology aspects as well. So that was my, thought process and why I decided to come to Manchester. But you also did your undergraduate here. You're still, I guess, within your undergraduate degrees.
So the MSci is a little bit different. So the MSci, the integrated masters, is actually considered an undergraduate masters. So instead of doing a postgraduate degree after your bachelor's degree, it's a 4-year course where you share the same first 2 and mostly third years with the normal bachelor and undergrads. And then for your 4th year, you do 7 to 8 months in a lab, full-time, on a project, doing some really awesome science. So I
can agree with that.
Yeah, it's I couldn't really recommend it highly enough, and I knew kind of early on in my degree that I'd want to do the MSci because I think I just wanted to get the full experience, right, of neuroscience. I came to university with dreams of being in a white lab coat and living the dream of being in the Big Bang Theory, something like that,
I made my decision to study the masters a lot later than you did.
Yeah.
I think this was probably around my 3rd year.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
But once I studied my degree in Manchester, like for me, every single year got better and better.
100%.
Everything you learn, all the modules you take are fascinating, but they become more and more fascinating as you get further down the line, because the more knowledge you acquire, the more you can learn and the more you can go into detail about things, and you start to learn things that are way more interesting, which obviously wouldn't be, great for a first year student to learn about because it's, very complicated. Well, you mentioned that you've always wanted to do neuroscience and get the experience in a lab and like follow that path. Whereas for me, I did not imagine myself being here. When I first started my degree, I had no clue what I wanted to do, and I never really saw myself doing a master's, at least in neuroscience.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that I did it as a standalone, it gave me that opportunity to cement my passion and cement my interest and then pursue it after I've done my degree. I know for a fact, I find this way too interesting to stop here. And I kept going.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing a 1-year course, and it's a taught master's. So it's a combination of modules at the start of the year. So I'm learning about stats, experimental design, communicating science, especially to lay audiences, which is really important, and stuff that, like, we're doing right now.
Yeah, one of my assignments was on it.
Yeah. And these, and obviously like lab skills as well. So you get a bit of practical experience in a lab, which all of these things help you and like give you the skills that are really, really important for when I undertake the research placement in the lab, which we're both doing now. Yeah. For the last 6 to 7 months of our degree. One big difference I think is important to mention is the money side of things.
Yeah. So big shout out to the MSci for being cheaper. It is a cheaper degree. So the 4th year where you get your undergraduate masters is the same cost as a single year of an undergraduate degree, when usually a postgraduate degree is slightly more. It's actually quite a bit more expensive.
I think it's around. One of the reasons I chose to say Manchester is you'd get an alumni discount. Oh, I would appreciate if it was more.
There we go. Oh, okay.
We got to take what we can get.
Got to take what you can get.
But that does make it like more accessible because, and there's no being around the bush. Like studying a master's is expensive. Yeah. Point blank.
Yeah, no. It is. It is. It's, let's just hope it's worth it.
So it's a privilege. Yeah. If I get my money back.
No, it is, guys. It is worth it. One thing that I thought that I was a bit worried about when I was coming in kind of to university was that when I kind of picked neuroscience, because I was, the brain's really cool, but I was kind of specializing really early, right? And it's actually not the case. So one thing that I can tell anyone applying to do a bioscience degree here is that for the first 2 years, first year and kind of a half, a lot of the work you do is like foundational bioscience, chemistry, to kind of make sure that everyone is kind of on a level playing field for when you kind of start going into detail, into the specifics. And, you get exposure to some really awesome fields, right? Pharmacology is a big one. Richard Prince. Any student in the SBS will know that name, Richard Prince, and will smile. I hope smile when they hear his name. But I mean, things like immunology as well. There's options to do immunology. You can do anatomy, body systems, all of these kind of things. And that prepares you kind of really well for when you start to specialize.
Gain a diverse range of knowledge.
Yeah.
Which is important when you study the brain. Yeah. Because you can't just...
And the brain's in everything. Yeah. Right? No matter what... I'm just saying, right? No matter what field you pick in bioscience, I promise you there'll be a neuro component. Yeah. It's everywhere, guys. So if there's something, right, that you want to research in neuroscience... there'll be an opportunity to. It's an amazingly diverse field. So yeah, just you have to learn kind of that. You have to have a broad education to start with. Otherwise, it'll be kind of difficult to understand the nuances and the complexities of the brain. Yeah, which is more than just one organ.
Yeah, and if any first years are listening, I think that's something you don't appreciate till you get further down the line of your degree. Because I remember doing things, I was like, why am I learning this? Why is it relevant?
Oh my God.
And then it hits you later on. Speaking of first years and stuff, we've got some questions that have been sent in by students and applicants. First question is from Lily from Bolton.
Lily. Hello, Lily.
If you could go back and give your first year self a piece of advice, what would it be?
Okay, fair enough, guys. Don't cram. that's actually probably the first thing that comes to my mind. Right? Don't cram. Do a little bit every day to keep up on your lectures, and it'll be a lot easier, and you'll do so much better in your exams.
And I know everyone says this, but we are two students who've studied neuroscience and the brain and memory systems. Yep. We know, like, as much as it's hard. I mean, we've both been there and crammed. It doesn't work in favour of how your brain operates.
No, it doesn't. I should just say, we're not perfect. We have crammed. I've crammed. You've crammed. We've all crammed. But like in general, if you can avoid it, it's always best to try and kind of like avoid it. And it just makes that. And even if you do need to do some cramming, hopefully it's like less cramming. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I would say as well, if I could give my first self advice, don't stress too much. Yeah. We know that's not good for memory anyway. But also just like don't get caught up on grades and things. I think the way you get the best out of your experience, because university is an amazing experience.
It really
just
is.
in general, not just neuroscience, not just like wherever you are as well, not just Manchester. Like, it's an amazing experience. It's such a good opportunity to just get involved. I mean, both of us have been involved in so many like extracurricular activities as well.
Yeah,
like
big time. I mean, it's to have that kind of parallel experience alongside your academic studies it adds a whole other dimension to your life, which then kind of
benefits your studies
exactly,
as well. Yeah,
in a super beneficial way. So if you want to do sport, if you want to do some drama, just whatever you do, just go out, put yourself out there, and join. I think as well, like, talk to lecturers. That's such a big thing. A lot of the time it can feel intimidating, right? And I experienced this a lot as well in first year, when you're in kind of a big lecture theatre with everyone else on the course, because you're all doing the same lectures. Yeah. And it can be really kind of intimidating to go up to the lecturers. But like, from my experience, most lecturers I've spoken to, they like students asking questions and going up. But it's not just that. Like, for example, I self-arranged my project. So on the MSci, you get to choose a project from a list, or self-arrange with some, like a lecturer or a PI, a principal investigator. And I was able to do that, right? So I was looking at the list, none of them really excited me. And then my first year tutor and academic advisor, Nina Milosavljevic, she literally come back from maternity leave. I saw her at a guest lecture. So again, as the point goes, the guest lectures. And she was like, "Do you want to self-arrange?" And it was like 2 days from the deadline. I was like, "Yes, that would be awesome. I know the people in the lab. It'll be a really good experience." Yeah. And hey ho. So, and that's just from kind of, trying to put myself out there the best I can.
Yeah, and that's a good message as well, because I personally believe, like, you get what you put in,
100%.
So to get the most out of your experience and stuff, just don't let fear or like anything else stop you. Just put yourself out there as much as you can. Obviously, even though it's daunting, like, we're scared as well. It's natural, we're all human, but you can get a lot out of things 100%. If you're not scared, just to, like, ask those questions. Who knows what you could get back.
Okay,
right, next question is from Finn from London. Finn asks, what excites you about neuroscience?
Goodness, everything. No. I'll probably kind of use this opportunity to talk about the project in the area that I'm working in at the moment. In the eye, you have, at the back of the eye, you have the retina, and within the retina you have photoreceptors, rods and cones, which are able to transduce light signals into electrical signals, which then pass those signals along to the brain, so we can process visual information. In a lot of cases of blindness, what we see is macular degeneration, which is where the retina begins to degenerate at the photoreceptor level. So your rods and your cones essentially disappear, they die, but the remainder of the retina, so the remaining circuitry, remains intact. But obviously, because it's not sensitive to light, you can no longer see. And we get this in age-related macular degeneration, which is very common, inherited forms like retinitis pigmentosa. And what's really exciting is that researchers have used viruses containing the DNA for a light-sensitive ion channel called channel rhodopsin. They inject these viruses into the eyes of blind, actually human patients, because it's in clinical trials. The DNA of this light-sensitive protein moves into the remaining retina and becomes expressed. So these cells suddenly start expressing this protein. And when light comes through the eye, all of a sudden, even though there are no photoreceptors, the retina is resensitized to light through these light-sensitive ion channels, which allow charged particles through the membrane and what we call action potentials to fire, so neuronal signals to travel. And this is currently in clinical trials. There have been some amazing work in humans with this technology, and I get to study these channel rhodopsin tools within cells, and just really see what it does and see what kind of things happen. It's the privilege to be able to work on that kind of stuff is what excites me. It's
very exciting. Yeah, so I'm sort of, for those like listening at home, I think everyone can relate to this, especially living in Manchester as well. Like, we know how rainy gloomy the weather is, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I think intuitively everyone can kind of understand the fact that, like, light influences our mood. So as soon as the sun comes out, you know, you walk around campus, everyone seems to be smiling. Like,
oh, yeah.
everyone's happy.
Yep. Straight to having a coffee outside and not doing any work. Sorry.
Sorry, Nina.
Oh, Nina's going to hear that. Oh, well.
But yeah, so we know that, like, light influences our mood, and it's really, really interesting to me. And I think for my project, we're really interested in sort of the neurobiological mechanisms behind that.
Okay.
So, you know, from when light. You can tell I've had a long day. When light hits our eye and it's, you know, turned into electrical signal, we're looking at like what cells are important, what cells are involved, and then the brain mechanisms, you know, what areas of the brain are important.
Right.
So I think it's really, really exciting. Beyond also conducting our own research and doing our own projects, there's also a lot to gain from the master's experience in terms of like being involved in a big research network that the University of Manchester has.
Yeah.
So many people you can learn from students, PhD students, to all the way to like researchers and PIs, which is the principal investigators. And then also there's like seminar series, big lab meetings where you get to like, you know, hear people discussing their work and like critiquing and, you know, discussing the science and suggesting options and, you know, how to improve work.
I think the neuroscience seminars are great. I mean, so these are seminars that happen pretty much every week, are put on by the Division of Neuroscience, and like professors and principal investigators from kind of all kinds of different fields will come together and watch and ask questions. You get some incredible perspectives. I mean, and you get people from literally all around the world coming to put on these seminars. So it's, you know, it is really an amazing opportunity, and you never know who you'll meet. So anyway, I think that we have run out of time. So we're going to have to say goodbye. As much as I'd love
to keep speaking all day.
As much as, well, I mean, we're going to go back to the lab together. So,
that's true.
You know,
you get every day together.
It's just this. I'm kidding. Anyway, yeah. So thank you so much to all of our watchers,
Thank
listeners.
you for listening.
Yeah.
We hope you've enjoyed.
We do.
This
and
episode.
If you have any questions, if you want to reach out, you can reach out to the Division of Neuroscience. I think all contact details are online.
Yeah.
University of Manchester, Division of Neuroscience. So, yeah, but thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. That's been the Brain Fix podcast.
It has been. Bye, everybody.